Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news from around the world. Firstly, the FAO has said that the period of high agricultural prices is likely over as the world's demographics change. This is a big call. But it also said there will be exceptions, including for milk powder, which it expects to outperform. Interestingly, though, it sees few trade prospects for fresh dairy products. In Europe, the latest data for unemployment shows that the jobless rates there continue to trend down in May. In fact, they are now near a 5-year low. In Italy, their banking crisis took another turn overnight, with the ECB putting the screws on their third largest bank to raise more capital. Italian banks have about a third of the Eurozone's bad bank debt, and Monte dei Paschi di Siena has about 13% of that Italian exposure. There is some sort of contagion building for Italian banks. In Australia, their banking regulator APRA has noted that while bank capital there has been rising following their sharp prod in 2014, the big four-pillar banks have to go further and raise a shed load more capital to strengthen their capital base. These four banks now rank in the top quartile internationally for capital backup, but international rules are raising everyone else's game in this area. So to remain in the top quartile, even more capital will need to be raised, and soon. This affects New Zealand because one place to get capital can be by raiding their New Zealand subsidiaries. The RBNZ needs to be on its game to prevent these local institutions being hollowed out in any way by downstream pressure from the Aussie regulator. The RBA does its monthly review of benchmark interest rates again later today. Before the election, most economists were of the view that their 1.75% rate would stay on hold. That still applies, but the new economic uncertainty driven by their stalemate election is surely on the mind of Governor Stevens, and today's statement could give some signals on how they are assessing these risks. In China, President Xi's grip is getting tighter. China's powerful internet censorship body has further tightened its grip on online news reports by warning all news and social network websites against publishing news without proper verification. Although the New York markets are closed for their 4th of July holiday, US Treasury 10-year yields are being quoted marginally higher at 1.46%. US benchmark oil price is mixed, but little changed. Now just under $49 a barrel, and the benchmark is just over $50 a barrel. The gold price is up a little further and is now at $1,352 an ounce. And the New Zealand dollar starts today higher as well, at 72.3 US cents, at 95.9 Aussie cents and 64.8 euro cents. The TWI is now at 75.8, and that's its highest point in a year. Against the Aussie, we're now at a 14-month high. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.